we go. It's not that he fought for the Germans that I respect so much about Hartmann. I mean, he fought for his country, it is what it is. But it's the fact that he was one of the greatest combat pilots of all time, but humble enough to admit he had a target-rich environment with people lacking in skill around him. And in some ways, he had an even cooler sort of situation with this plane, with the Black Tulip and the Black Angel, or his whole bunch of series of nicknames he had. The Blonde Devil was one of them. But this guy learned to fly an aircraft when he was just a child because his mother ran a gliding school in Germany. And if you don't know that, well, now you know. The greatest combat pilot of all time in terms of kill ratio. 352 confirmed kills, including a kill that happened just outside of, not far from where I was born, in Brno, because I grew up in Czechoslovakia before they split. And my grandfather was going to Brno all the time for business, and he would have potentially even been there the day that Erich Hartmann he shot down a couple of P-51 Mustangs, if I remember correctly. They were showboating. And then this guy endured 10 years of torture at the hands of the Nazis. Or, excuse me, at the hands of the Soviets. I mean, same difference in some ways. The Russians beat him, tortured him, kept him from his family for 10 years. His son died at a young age, and he never got to meet his child, which is really messed up. But the Soviets after the war were not very forgiving, even though their own war crimes completely went unpunished. So, whatever. I don't want to make this into a political rant, but there you go. Erich Hartmann, who is actually the inspiration for the name for Eric Cartman on South Park. That's just a funny little aside that has nothing to do with any of this, but this is your, if you're into military aircraft and fighter planes, this guy is second to none. 352 confirmed kills. The propellers broke off this thing. I'm going to make one of those abstract spinning propeller deals for it. I haven't gotten around to it, but I built this a while back. I did an inverted swastika. Built it a long time ago. I painted that on there, which is why it's so sloppy. I painted it by hand, but I made the canopy from scratch because the original canopy was not at all the correct shape, so that's also fairly sloppy. But there you go, the Black Tulip BF-109. This was scrap circuit board leavings in a PlayStation CD Rallycross 2. I'm assuming the game was not that great if I used it for this purpose. But anyway, there you go, Booby, or Erich Hartmann as he was known. Never a fan of Hitler, like a lot of Germans that unfortunately had to fight in a war they didn't start, because that's the way of the universe. Same thing with Ukraine now, same thing with Vietnam. It is what it is.